you ever seen like Inside Out?
The movie with the emotional, like
Hmm.
it's anger and all that. I think I remember it vaguely.
Okay. So there's this character being Bong, and he has this wagon that he was supposed to take with Riley, like they were going to go to the moon. But the wagon gets thrown into the big giant pit where you forget everything. And he is so absolutely sad. He is grieving for this wagon and all the things that this wagon represented. And Joy was like, "Hey, let's look at on the bright side. Let's do a dance. Let's do anything other than sit here in your sadness." And Bing Bong is just like not having it. He's not even hearing what she's saying. He's just like, bleh. But then not Joy, but then sadness comes along. It's like, yeah, you were so excited for that. Oh, I bet that makes you really sad. And he's like, yeah, it does. And then he keeps talking about it, and he has a good cry with all the candies coming out of his eye because apparently those are his tears. And then he's fine. And he's like, okay, I feel good. And they went on their way. So it's kind of like the same thing with like any type of grief. We got to sit in it, because once you sit in it and you meet that need, you're going to be able to move through it a lot faster versus putting a band-aid on it, shoving it down, because it's still unresolved. You still care about this person or about this thing or about whatever, and it's going to keep popping up. Because I know a lot of people are grieving about with the pandemic, not even just like the deaths, but just kind of like the death of that hope. A lot of people are feeling really hopeful. We got these shots. This is what we were talking about. We got these shots, but because Delta, it's like, I can't even do the things that I want to. And so it's like grieving these things. And a lot of people feel like it's petty to be grieving these kind of things. Like, why should I be upset about these kind of the stuff? I'm alive, I'm well, I'm healthy. Shouldn't this make me happy? It's like, no, you were excited to go on these trips. You were excited to go to these events and concerts and eat at a restaurant without having to worry about a mask. I mean, these you were excited to have some kind of semblance of a life again, and that was taken away. So yeah, you get to sit in that sadness. And there's a difference between sitting in the sadness and staying in the sadness and like putting salt in the wound. That's a whole nother kind of conversation. But for the most part, if you're just sitting in it and validating it and looking at it the way that it needs to be, you're going to be able to move through it a lot faster.
Great point. I love that reference. Yeah, I do remember Bing Bong because I remember he lost the rocket. He was trying to get out tracking.